So I have not filmed a talk through kind of video in a while, and I don't really know what I'm going to be doing, but I am using the new Kat Von D Monarch palette, which should be fun. So if you want to see what I end up doing with this and this, please keep on watching. Just a quick little thing, already moisturized my face. Today I used the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. I've only used this a couple of times, and so far I like it. And then I used this Burt's Bees Radiance Eye Cream. This was in my favorites video recently, and I am really loving it. And I already primed my face too, and I used my Nip and Fab Sheer Makeup Fix, like always. Yeah. Then because I am feeling quite fancy, I'm going to be using my YSL Youth Liberator Serum Foundation. This is partly also because my skin is super dry, and this has a serum mixed in it that helps to hydrate your skin all day long. So I went ahead and finished my face off camera because it's not like you haven't seen me do that a bajillion times at this point. Anyway, so for concealer today, like normal, I used my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC15 to highlight my face and conceal under my eyes. Then I used my MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NC20 to cover any kind of blemishes I have on my face. Then to set all that, I used my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder to set under my eyes, and then my Coty Airspun Loose Powder to set the rest of my face. Then to contour, like forever, I've used my Hoola Bronzer. For blush, I used a combination of the Benefit Rockateur and MAC's Mineralized Blush in Dainty. Then for my brows, I used the Urban Decay Brow Box and the Salon Perfect Brow Sculpting Gel to just set those in place. I also used my Mary Luminizer from the Balm to highlight my face, and that is what I did off camera. I also used my Urban Decay Primer Potion to prime my eyelids. So to start things off, I'm going to take this matte brown color called Killing Jar, I believe. And I'm just going to take that on a fluffy brush and put that in my crease. But just build that up to the intensity that you would like it. This is just going to act as our transition color in our crease. And, you know, that kind of stuff. You can blend it up as high as you want it as well. I do tend to take my transition shades up quite high, but you don't have to do that. So I cannot really decide what color I want to use for my lid color. I'm kind of torn between this one, this one, this one, and this one. So 4 colors. I guess it just kind of depends on what look you're going for, but I think I'm going to go for this orange here. But first I'm going to take this color called Vanish and put it in my inner corner to just kind of start to, you know, open up the eye, that whole thing, just so you have a little bit of a highlight there. And I'm going to take that about to where my iris starts on the lower lash line as well. Then just taking the same stiff flat brush I used to apply my inner corner highlight, I'm going to take this color. It is called Deadhead, and it is kind of a burnt orange, but it's definitely a brown toned color. All of these are very warm toned colors, which is what drew me to the palette. I'm just going to start applying that on in the inner part of the eye, just patting it and kind of pulling at it, but really patting it because I don't want there to be fallout. So then on the same brush, still in that orange color, which I am just in love with, I'm just going to take that and run that along the lower lash line as well. Starting where the highlight color is. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to say just then. So then, just to tone down the orange possibly a little bit, I like this. I think this looks kind of cool. I'm going to mix the first color that we used and this one here, which is called Papilio, P-A-P-I-L-I-O. I don't know how you say that. So I'm just going to mix those two on a little bit more of a smaller fluffy brush and blend that through the crease. Just to deepen that up and kind of bring it around. Just really to blend out that edge. Now I am starting to realize that this look is not going to be for everybody. Orange, or not everybody thinks they could pull off a look like this, but it's really not that intense. Well, for me anyway, it's not, but I like doing kind of different, crazy kind of makeup though. That's just how I roll. So then, because I really don't want so much of that brown on the lid, I really want that orange color to come through. I'm going to take my shading brush and go right up against where the brown comes down on the lid and blend over top of it with the orange. Just to make sure that that orange color stays quite intense. Just like that. You can skip that step. You don't have to do that, but I really want that orange to be on the lid. Then just taking the same brush, I'm going to mix those two matte brown colors again. And just run that on the outer half of the lower lash line. So then I'm going to just dip into that matte brown color with my Real Techniques Duo Fiber eye brush, just picking up the littlest bit on the white fibers of the brush. I'm just going to run that in the crease. I don't really want to use the black in the crease because I think that would just take away from the look a little bit too much, or just kind of maybe tone it down a little bit too much, and I like the really bright orange color. And then again, I'm going to go with that orange and just blend at that brown. Then to highlight and clean up any edges, I'm going to take this kind of yellowy, buttery matte color called Tiny Death, which is my favorite name in this entire palette. And on my base shadow brush, I'm just going to take that and kind of use that as my highlight shade, but also to blend out any harsh. And just taking that a little bit around in the inner corner as well, just to highlight and open that area up also. So for eyeliner on this look, I'm going to use this matte black eyeshadow and an angle brush. I think using a gel liner or a liquid liner is just going to be too harsh because you do have such a intense orange color on the lid. So just using my MAC, what is this, 263, which is a very thin angle brush, I'm just going to dip it into this matte black. And I'm not going to put it on where the highlight color is. I'm going to start just after that. And I'm just stamping this on the lid because it is a black and I don't want that much fallout. So then once you have your basic line across your lid, as thin or as thick as you would like it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my angle brush around so that I'm going this direction with it. And again, just dipping into that black and tapping it off. I'm going to line it up with my lower lash line and then kind of stamp it where I want my line to start. And then I'm going to flick up from that line. And blend that line in so it's kind of softer than just a harsh line. But I am going to drag it in a little bit so I do have kind of a cat eye going on. Then I'm going to take my shader brush again and just buff over that line just to make it a little bit softer and always blending in with, when you're blending out, at least when I'm blending out like a cat eye that I do with eyeshadow, I always blend it in. I don't blend it out or like this or this way, because it can get quite messy, so I always blend it towards my nose, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the effect we are going for here. You want to create the illusion of a cat eye and a lift, but you really want it to blend away into your crease. So you're kind of creating a shadow with it. You want it to be there, but you don't want it to be there. So I did go ahead and do my other eye, and I did run a little bit of that black on the very outer corner and smudge it out a little bit. You can skip that step, but I thought it kind of tied the whole thing together. Then you can take any brown or warm-toned brown eyeliner that you want. I'm using Teddy from MAC, which is a brown with gold in it. I think it will look very good with what I've got going on. And I'm just going to run that in my lower waterline. You could also use black as well if you wanted to. I just am preferring brown with this look because it is such a warm look. So just to see the difference, you could also leave it like this, or you could put a flesh toned color in there if you wanted to do that. But I prefer it with the brown. So for mascara today, I used CoverGirl's Bombshell Volume by Lash Blast. I'm not the biggest fan of this mascara. The whole 2 mascara in one kind of thing weirds me out a little bit. I know that sometimes I do use 2 mascaras, but they're 2 completely different mascaras I'm using to achieve a certain effect. The way they tell you to use this does not really work for me. When I use this, I do one eye at a time. So I apply a generous coat of step number 1, and then before that has any time to dry, I apply another generous coat of step number 2, and then I move on to my next eye, and I find that works the best, and my lashes don't get clumpy at all. So to start lips off, I'm taking my e.l.f. Lip Lock pencil, and I'm going to apply that all over my lips, which are not really that chapped anymore because I went and purchased the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask. Oh, I love it. It's wonderful. All the good things that are said about it are true. So then, because our eye makeup is so intense, I'm going to do a nude lipstick, and I'm going to use this Parenza Schuler MAC lipstick in the shade Wood Rose. This just came out, so it is still available, most likely, if you would like one. And it is a kind of light, more brown-toned nude. It is kind of pinky still, but it is a more of a brown-toned nude. So you could leave it at that if you wanted to, but I'm going to put some gloss on top, and this is Buxom's Lip Cream in White Russian. This is also kind of the same tone nude color, kind of browny but kind of pinky. And both of these smell freaking amazing. So that finishes up this look using the new Kat Von D Monarch palette. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.